This is crazy because James Gunn just gave us a ton of news about the future of the DCU, including a huge announcement about the next Superman movie, updates on the new Batman and Wonder Woman castings, and he confirmed a new project that is in the works. Let's talk about it all. Let's start off with this new announcement he made about Man of Tomorrow, which, if you don't know, is the next Superman movie. It's going to follow Superman and Lex teaming up against Brainiac. And if you're someone that didn't like how Superman looked visually, you're going to be happy with this news because he just announced that Sam McCurdy, who was a cinematographer for Shogun and Game of Thrones, will serve as the cinematographer for Man of Tomorrow. And as you can see, James Gunn is confirming this on Threads himself. Now, I personally like how Superman looks visually. I think it is a good looking movie, but this is without a doubt a huge upgrade because Game of Thrones and Shogun are both beautiful series, and I feel like this is going to give Man of Tomorrow a way more cinematic feel than what we saw in the Superman movie. And while a cinematographer doesn't really tell you anything about the story, it kind of gives you the vibe that we're going to go for, like I said, a little bit more cinematic and maybe a darker tone, less bright and hopeful, which honestly I'm looking forward to as long as we don't go full Man of Steel, grimdark Superman with it. Let's switch over to some Batman and Wonder Woman related news because James Gunn does give us an update about the Batman Brave and the Bold, but first he says that no, all the rumors that have been going around of a Batman or a Wonder Woman audition are false. No actors have auditioned for this role yet. What kind of prompted this is the theory that Wonder Woman was going to be in Superman Man of Tomorrow, which starts filming in a few months. So a lot of people were thinking, hey, James Gunn's probably in the casting process right now, but James Gunn actually followed this up and responded again saying that no, they are casting a pretty big female character for Superman Man of Tomorrow, but that it's not Wonder Woman. He thinks leakers just saw the casting call and kind of assumed it was for Wonder Woman, which honestly, I'm kind of glad that Wonder Woman's not going to be in Superman Man of Tomorrow. Like, we already know we're going to have Superman and Lex going up against Brainiac. We got to assume other characters like Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen are going to be returning. I don't really feel like we need to start throwing in other heroes just yet. Don't make the same mistake that the DCEU did, like jumping right into a Batman and Superman movie, literally having Wonder Woman in that film too. Like, let's just take our time, give these guys some solo projects and slowly build up to the team ups over time. Like I said, he also gave us some Batman news, and he was asked, around what time this year do you think we will see an update on Batman the Brave and the Bold? And James Gunn responded saying, I'm dependent on when there's an actionable script ready, so there's no way of me guessing this. Also, frankly, we're well into Batman 2, meaning the Batman Part 2, and I wouldn't want to cloud the Batsphere until after that. Now, the Batman Part 2 is not releasing until October 2027, and it starts filming in a couple months here in April. I kind of assumed this was going to be the case, that we weren't going to see Batman the Brave and the Bold in 2027 with Batman Part 2. So it seems like at the very earliest, we're not going to see a Batman in the DCU until 2028, maybe 2029. I honestly don't know how to feel about this because in one way, I am happy that we're not going to be getting two Batman movies in the same year. I'm glad we're letting the Batman Part 2 stand alone, have its time to shine, and they're going all out with the casting for that movie. Like, we're adding Sebastian Stan, Scarlett Johansson. That is going to be a huge film. It is also weird to not have a Batman in this new DC universe for probably 4 or 5 years. Like I said, if we don't see him until like 2029, and that would be crazy. I do think they really need to take their time because this Robert Pattinson Batman trilogy, if we end up getting a part 3, seems like it's going to be one of the best superhero trilogies of all time. So the Brave and the Bold has to be both very different in the style and tone, but it also has to be equally amazing, or else people are just gonna be like, hey, this new Batman kind of sucks compared to the other one we already have going at the same time. But I am just happy that James Gunn is open to having these other projects like the Batman and this dynamic duo, we'll get to this news in a second, that are taking place outside of the DCU, because I think that's one of the biggest mistakes Marvel made, is focusing on everything being 100% canon to the main MCU timeline. I'm glad James Gunn's not afraid to have these other stories in other universes, and he was asked, is the dynamic duo movie, which is going to be an animated film about Jason Todd and Dick Grayson, is it being rewritten to be a part of the DCU? And James Gunn simply responded saying, nope, this is going to be his own standalone Elseworlds movie. Like I said, he also mentioned that there is actually a new project greenlit, because someone just asked, are any new DCU projects getting close to being greenlit? And he said a lot are actually close, and at least one is already greenlit. Now, what this could be, I honestly have no idea. Like, we know there's a Starfire and Green Lantern animated series coming at some point in the future, but I think those have already been greenlit for a few months. We also know that the Teen Titans movie is still a whiles away from getting a script, and James Gunn is not greenlighting anything without a script, so it's not that. I think what's most likely is it might be that Jimmy Olsen Daily Planet TV show that they were talking about doing this spinoff, where it's like Jimmy Olsen investigating these super criminals like Gorilla Grodd and stuff, because we know this was actively in development, but not greenlit yet, so maybe this is what James Gunn has just greenlit. But really, there's countless DCU projects, a ton of things that he announced when he first started the DCU, like Booster Gold, Waller, Paradise Lost, The Authority. It could be one of those projects too. Let me know what you think it is in the comments down below. And if you want to hear about the newest Avengers Doomsday leaks, click the video at the top of the screen, or if you want to see all my other DC videos and rankings on the channel, click the playlist at the bottom, and thank you for watching.